Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Suriya Khong, and I am honored to serve as the Vice President of Teen Initiatives for the Boys and Girls Clubs of Sarasota and DeSoto counties. I am passionate about empowering young people to make a positive impact in their communities, and I'm excited to share with you more information about our Cultural Immersion program.
Thank you, Suriya. My name is Vanessa. I am a proud alumna of the Boys and Girls Clubs of Sarasota and DeSoto counties. I am currently a junior at Barnard College in New York City, where I am majoring in English with a concentration in creative writing and minoring in the Italian language. And I'm very excited to share my experience with you today.
Thank you, Ms. Suriya. Thank you, Vanessa. Hello, everyone. My name is Gigi, and I'm a current member of the Boys and Girls Clubs. I'm an upcoming freshman at Princeton University, and I'm very excited to share my experience with you all today.
Growing up in a low-income household, I always felt like the world was out of reach. Though books provided a window to other cultures and faraway places, I remained rooted in my reality, unable to travel beyond my imagination. It wasn't until adulthood that I fully understood the transformative power of exploration. Each global experience strengthened my connection to the world around me and deepened my understanding of my place in it. This understanding was the driving force behind Boys and Girls Clubs of Sarasota and DeSoto counties' Cultural Immersion program. Recognizing that so many young people, just like I once was, were relegated to their own corners of the globe, I sought to create a program that would open up the world to young people and allow them to embark on a journey of self-discovery through global exploration. For me, this program is a way to show club youth that the world is full of possibility, wonder, and adventure, a way to help them understand that we are all connected as global citizens. The first step in creating our Cultural Immersion program was to establish connections with clubs and communities across the globe. By building meaningful relationships with sister clubs early on, we better understood the needs, strengths, and challenges of each community before arriving. Once connections were established, we began to recruit club participants to join our program. We looked for passionate young people who were willing to step outside their comfort zone, teens who demonstrated a desire for volunteerism and a respect for all cultures and all people. It was important to us that each participant was willing to learn from and ready to contribute to the communities we visited. Securing funding was perhaps the biggest challenge we faced. Since this was a pilot program, we didn't have access to traditional funding sources. Our club teens had to get creative and think outside the box. They held fundraisers, wrote grant proposals, and solicited donations from local businesses and individuals. The first year, we provided an advance to our teens, trusting that our program and subsequent funding initiatives would be successful enough to cover the costs in the long run. Thankfully, our trust was rewarded. Although funding our program was a significant challenge, planning the itinerary was the most complex aspect of our initiative. We wanted our club members to partake in cultural experiences, visits to historic or culturally significant sites, and recreational activities, things that were unique to each country and each community. We also wanted to ensure that our club members had the opportunity to volunteer with local clubs in immersive and hands-on experiences. And of course, throughout, safety was paramount. Our goal was to provide a transformative experience for club youth. We wanted to cultivate a profound appreciation of the diverse cultures that contribute to the richness of our world. Through volunteerism and meaningful connections, we aim to foster understanding and empathy while building youth's capacity for teamwork and leadership. To give you an insight into the impact of our program, I now invite Vanessa to share with you her firsthand experience of our inaugural trip to Panama.
Thank you, Suriya. My name is Vanessa, and I was on the pilot program of the Cultural Immersion program at Boys and Girls Clubs of Sarasota and DeSoto counties in 2019. I was first introduced to the concept of cultural immersion 10 years ago, when my family and I left everything and everyone we knew, our home, our Cuba, for a better future. Immigration takes away many things: language, culture, family, homes, but it also gives resilience. It has taken time for me to reclaim those parts of myself I lost in the necessary cultural assimilation that moving homes brought upon my childhood. But more than time, it has taken the support of my community, my club. The second time a life force close to destiny brought cultural immersion within my reach was in 2019, when my local Boys and Girls Clubs presented me and my peers with an opportunity to expand our limited cultural capital. The club had announced a new initiative, the Cultural Immersion Program, a first of its kind. Originally, it was introduced to us as a pen pal partnership with a sister club, but our aspirations, the club staffs, the students, the donors, took to their wings, and our goal easily expanded into a service trip to a whole different country. Although travel pre-pandemic was arguably more accessible, as a low-income student, I could not have fathomed leaving the country without my parents for a 9-day-long excursion in Panama. The program was a dream come true, so I immediately applied to become one of the lucky 8 who would absolutely soak up Panamanian culture. The first excursion was our visit to the Emberá village. From our lush hotel in the city, we drove for an hour and then spent another hour on dugout canoes through the Alajuela River. In the village, we learned of all the different plants that are safe for consumption and their purpose in the lives of the Emberá. We connected with their land, learned sustainable agricultural practices, communicated without language, the most naturally human things. After this, the exploring continued. We went ziplining in the rainforest, horseback riding on a mountain, whitewater rafting. We did yoga overlooking the hills of a coffee farm. But the most demanding excursion was climbing Volcán Barú, hidden away, 11,398 feet away, to be exact. Just waking up at 3 a.m. to begin the hike was challenge enough. But looking at the stars before sunrise, unbothered by city lights, was wanderlust being born inside my eyes. This trip never ceased to amaze us, so of course, the sun rose, and we were all in awe. We had the Atlantic on one side, the Pacific on the other, and the beautiful Panamanian sun between the two. And on top of that, a sense of togetherness among us. Outside of nurturing my need for adventure, the Cultural Immersion Program also solidified my dedication to community. My most beautiful transcendent moments happened in Caysan, Panama, home to our sister club, Manos de Fe. I had taken my digital camera to capture those moments, but in the days we spent at Manos de Fe, my lens focused on hope. During the visits, I saw hope a million times in those kids. When we played football in the muddy canchas, competing only over who got more sucio, dirty. When we braided everyone's hairs, and a little girl who saw me struggling offered to do it for me. When we danced salsa and sang our hearts out to Diego Torres's Color Esperanza, a song about literally painting your eyes the color of hope. You ever do that? Paint your eyes the color of hope? The kids at the club who had painted even their smiles, even their hearts, taught me that hope can help you walk a little further, far enough to reach a place that will teach you how gratitude grows even on trees without fruit. In one of the program required daily reflections, I explained this realization with the line, I will have hope when there's nothing else to have, although I now feel like I have it all. Manos de Fe, hands of faith, a name perfect for its mission, placed hope on my hands like they do for their kids in the shape of a home. We fundraised over $10,000 for this trip. Spending months working with people I barely knew taught me the value of togetherness and the power of us. I learned to find a home in each girl in the program, but the connections I brought back with me were not the only ones I made. I dream of going places, and the club offered me a taste of the thrill that comes with the unknown. The Cultural Immersion Program was a door to the world, and through that door, my sense of self exploded. I was thrilled to find myself in a place so similar to Cuba, with people who spoke my language, with sunshine that mirrored my homelands. But I was also thrilled to find myself a foreigner, eager to learn not only about the newness of all external things I was experiencing, but also about myself. It was during this trip that I discovered who I was going to become. After days of watching me interact with strangers and be rewarded for my kindness with their own, Suriya, my mentor and organizer of this trip, said to me, you can make any place your home. For the first time in my life away from Cuba, I felt at home. I never imagined that cultural immersion could mean more than just letting go of identity. This program taught me that it can also mean expanding the concept of home to be even more reaching, even more welcoming. Thank you.
Thank you, Vanessa. Although our program was placed on hold for a couple years due to the safety precautions surrounding COVID, we relaunched our initiative last year with an immersive experience to Budapest, Hungary. To share with you more about that experience, allow me to introduce Gigi.
Thank you, Ms. Suriya. Hello again, I'm Gigi, and I participated in the 2022 Cultural Immersion session where I volunteered at a sister club in Budapest, Hungary. When I was first invited to apply to this program, I was really drawn to its emphasis on volunteerism and cross-cultural communications. That was something that I had really admired when I heard about the club's previous experience in Panama. Coming into this program, one thing that I was definitely expecting was hard work, and it certainly lived up to my expectations. My group had raised $30,000 for our trip, which we achieved hours and hours of volunteering, coordinating fundraisers, and partnering with local businesses. But that experience in itself was incredibly rewarding. Our group accomplished something that I never could have imagined even attempting a year ago. So it's really shown us that our hard work has truly paid off. So come November 2021, the first day of our trip, we arrived in London, England. And it was the first time most of us had ever traveled abroad. We were all completely in awe, seeing double-decker buses pass us and watching cars drive on the other side of the road. It was an experience that I am never going to forget. And we were all just so excited and grateful to be there. After a full day of historic sightseeing in London, we flew to Budapest and immediately after landing, hopped on over to the Boys and Girls Club. There, we met some absolutely incredible and very intelligent youth. Over the course of the next few days we spent in Budapest, they taught us a lot about Hungarian culture, and in return, we gave them a taste of life in America. For instance, we taught them the Cotton Eye Joe dance and baked them pumpkin pie on Thanksgiving, and they made us lots of Hungarian pastries, as well as taught us about Hungarian history, geography, and culture. Speaking of Thanksgiving, it was a very impactful day for a lot of us because we'd never really been apart from our families on such a major holiday. But it was a very memorable one that I would not have traded for the world. Our dinner was traditional Hungarian food, and after spending the day volunteering at the club, we volunteered for an organization called Bike Mafia. At Bike Mafia, we helped make hundreds of sandwiches that were then distributed to the homeless population of Budapest. While in Budapest, we also volunteered for a refugee center housing displaced Ukrainians. There, we spent the day cleaning and helping out around the facility, which was a very impactful and eye-opening experience for all of us. Living in the West, it's very easy for us to take our lives and our safety and our freedom for granted. So witnessing these circumstances firsthand has heightened our sense of empathy, our longing for change, and our drive to make the world a better place. For the last leg of our trip, we flew to Paris for the day, where we saw the Eiffel Tower, the Louvre, the catacombs, among other places. My personal favorite spot was the Louvre. Visiting was a very educational experience, getting to see physical embodiments of events and historical figures that I learned about in history class for so many years. Ultimately, I feel as though this trip was impactful in developing my peers and my own sense of cultural awareness, which I think plays a very large role in becoming a well-rounded, thoughtful, and understanding individual. As I said, it's very easy for us to get caught up in our American bubble, so to say, and using these international, culturally enriched experiences has gone a very long way in the development and maturation of our worldviews, especially volunteering at the Ukrainian Refugee Center, which was a very humanizing experience that not a lot of American youth can say they've encountered. Establishing such a personal connection to areas on the other side of the globe has tremendously influenced the way in which we, as youth and as the future leaders of our nations, will approach global events, challenges, and interconnectedness. I am eternally grateful for this experience, and I will truly never forget it. Thank you.
Thank you, Gigi. Our cultural immersion program aims to inspire young people to gain a deeper understanding of the world around them, while also gaining a fresh perspective of their own lives. By fostering communities and connection, we have observed firsthand how club youth develop important leadership skills, empathy, and compassion. Our sister clubs have played a crucial role in helping our youth seek out adventure and remain curious, which in turn has led to both individual and collective growth. Our program success is evident through the experiences of Vanessa and Gigi, and it is why we are committed to its continuation. Moving forward, we are excited to expand the program's reach and provide even more transformative experiences for club youth. We strongly believe that the Cultural Immersion Program has the power to empower young people to become engaged global citizens who are prepared to make a positive impact in their communities and beyond. Thank you.